So friends, I'm sure you've heard by now, a federal appeals court in Washington, D.C. affirmed, that is, approved of, the gag order that Judge Tanya Chutkan imposed on Donald Trump, trying to tamp down his dangerousness. It is a 68-page written ruling, but we are only going to focus on one sentence of that ruling, and it's a sentence that we are going to hold fast to. Let's talk about that, because justice matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, it's been a long week. We're going to do a quick Justice Matters video today about the new DC Federal Circuit Court of Appeals opinion that affirmed, that is, approved of, Judge Tanya Chutkan's gag order. The gag order that she imposed on Donald Trump, trying to address his dangerous, reckless speech and posts that, in a very real sense, inspire his supporters to threaten, harass, intimidate virtually everybody who is involved in any way in, the endeavor to hold Donald Trump accountable for his crimes. Now, it's a 68-page written opinion. We are not going to review it all. Instead, we are going to focus on just one sentence. But before we turn to that one sentence, let's look at some of the recent reporting. This from the Associated Press. Headline: Appeals Court upholds gag order on Trump in Washington case, but narrows restrictions on his speech. And that article begins, a federal appeals court in Washington largely upheld the gag order on Donald Trump in his 2020 election interference case on Friday, but narrowed the restrictions on his speech to allow the former president to criticize the special counsel who brought the case. The three-judge panel's ruling modifies the gag order, permitting the Republican 2024 presidential frontrunner to make disparaging comments about special counsel Jack Smith, but it reimposes limits on what he can say about known or reasonably foreseeable witnesses in the case and about court staff and other lawyers. The unanimous ruling is mostly a win for special counsel Jack Smith's team, with the judges agreeing with prosecutors that Trump's often incendiary comments about participants in the case can have a damaging practical impact, and rejecting claims by defense attorneys that restrictions on the ex-president's speech amount to an unconstitutional muzzling. It lays out fresh parameters about what Trump can and cannot say about the case as he both prepares for a March trial and campaigns to reclaim the White House. And this quote from the appellate court opinion: Mr. Trump's documented pattern of speech and its demonstrated real-time, real-world consequences pose a significant and imminent threat to the functioning of the criminal trial process in this case, Judge Patricia Millett wrote for the court. She noted that many of the targets of Trump's verbal jabs have been subjected to a torrent of threats and intimidation from his supporters. So friends, as promised, I'm not going to go through the whole 68-page appellate court opinion. And the reason I'm not going to go through it, and this is not to sound pessimistic, but the endless debate and litigation over the nature, the scope, and the reach of these gag orders, to me, feels a bit like, doctors standing around debating on whether to put a 1-inch Band-Aid or a 2-inch Band-Aid on a gaping chest wound. Neither one is going to stop the bleeding. Neither one is going to address the the ongoing harm to the patient. And in this analogy, democracy is the patient. But let's rally. Let's look for the silver lining behind the big, dark, orange cloud. And the silver lining is right at the bottom of page 48 of this appellate court opinion, when the court states, in this case, the general election, the 2024 presidential election, the general election is almost a year away and will long postdate the trial in this case. In other words, this trial will be over long before the 2024 presidential election. And now, that quote sits taped to my wall, together with another quote, just one other quote, that I taped up there the day it was reported out. Both of those quotes will remain taped to my studio wall until we see justice come for the crimes of Donald Trump. But friends, like I say, we're going to keep today's video short, so I think I'm going to stop there. Has been a long week. But, as Jackson Browne sang, when the morning light comes streaming in, we'll get up and do it again. Because justice matters. Friends, as always, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.